On this My So-Called podcast, we're going back to October 13th, 1996.
We're going to discuss the album Car Button Cloth by the Lemonheads and the movie The Long Kiss Goodnight from director Renny Harlin.
Like the past. The movie never changes. It can't change, but every time you see it, it seems different because you were different. You see different things.
Welcome back to My So-Called podcast for another trip back into the 90s with me, Eric Spiegel, and...
me, Gary Linton.
Yeah, there he is.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Eric.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Hey, I don't celebrate Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate that.
If you downloaded this on Christmas and are listening to it on Christmas, number one fan, right?
Yeah,
Gary?
exactly, right.
If you downloaded it in the weeks following Christmas, then Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, yeah. Happy January, Happy Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, this is our final ep before the year-end roundup.
Yep.
This is the holidays ep, and then the next one will be the New Year's ep.
That's right. Because it's a holiday, we are going to discuss in the second half of the podcast, Renny Harlin's The Long Kiss Goodnight, the classic Christmas special.
It's a very Christmassy movie.
Well, you know, and we'll discuss that, but Shane Black, the writer of The Long Kiss Goodnight, loves to set stuff at Christmas.
Yeah, he's got his themes.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon, Kiss Kiss and Bang Bang.
Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yep.
Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout, that's right.
Yeah.
Is The Nice Guys at Christmas?
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man, that's right. Yep.
I don't think that takes place at Christmas. I don't think The Nice Guys does either. That's old Shane Black. 90s Shane Black is Christmas.
Oh, Christmas,
Shane
right,
Black.
yeah. 80s and 90s, yeah.
But yeah, lots of Christmassy stuff. It's a Christmassy movie.
Yeah, well, the first half.
Yeah.
Until it becomes all about bombs and explosions and stuff.
And Christmas lights.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're right. Yep. That does figure prominently in
a Christmas parade.
In the Deus Machina.
Anyway, Gary.
Yep.
What else are we talking about?
Oh, well, the album is the Lemonheads Car Button Cloth.
Yeah, so we got Renny Harlin's Long Kiss Goodnight and Lemonhead's Car Button Cloth. And this is a podcast where we go back to a week in the 90s, in this case, October 13th, 96.
Yep.
We talk about an album and a movie, the release that week.
Do you think they didn't think this was really a holiday one because it was in October, the movie?
Well, I think you could argue that they didn't have enough confidence in it to
October
release
13.
it in December. But you could also argue that it doesn't really matter. I mean, Lethal Weapon was a summer movie.
Right. Yep.
And they released that. There's a bunch of Christmas in that, and they released that in the summer. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I think, and Die Hard also. I don't know if you've heard this, Gary.
Is it a Christmas movie?
No, it's John McTiernan directed it.
Oh, right.
It came out in summer.
Yep.
It's also a Christmas movie.
Right,
but
right.
it came out in the summer, right? It's a summer blockbuster.
Yes.
And as did Die Hard 2, reviewed on the podcast.
Yep, already discussed.
I don't actually remember if that one came out at Christmas or summer.
I don't either,
It used to be, I think, starting in the 80s and 90s, specifically the 80s, where there was like tent poles, and the two big tent poles would be June-ish.
Yeah.
Right.
Which has gotten moved up to May.
Right.
Yeah, but
right.
yeah,
right.
it was June.
And it used to be they would dump all the trash in August and January.
Yep.
And the reason they would dump all the trash in August and January is because the tent poles were June, July,
And
December,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, if you had a big prestige movie, you release it in December. If you have a big action movie, you release it in the summer. That has gotten real blurry these days.
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of, but yeah, you're right. It's not as...
I mean, James Bond used to be either summer or Christmas.
Yeah, we
but
went
the
and
new
saw.
James Bond comes out this next April.
Yeah, right. They keep pushing it forward, and we went and saw a couple James Bonds on Christmas. I remember doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think taking Dad to a Bond movie on Christmas after you have some ham.
Yep,
That's a thing.
that's what. Yep, done. Did it. We did it.
Yep. Anyway, so
Anywho, we'd like to
I mean,
go
the
on.
point I was trying to make is you got a Christmas action movie. You got two choices, and they were fine with releasing them in the summer. I do think possibly a 96 dumping this in October was a choice,
Yeah.
although it is
yeah.
hard to be a studio head whenever you have to release a movie head to head with something.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
Right. Well, what we're gonna do next, we'll talk about more about Long Kiss Goodnight in the second half, but first we're gonna set the stage for October 1996. Well, 96 in general by doing some trivia questions. Do you not have a card?
I have one.
Okay.
Gary, you're
there's-
winning 6-4.
Yeah, that's
we get
right.
to 20.
That's right. You bring that weak junk into my house, I'm gonna beat you 6-4.
If we get to 20, the loser buys the winner's steaks.
In theory, communism works.
In theory, the loser buys the winner's steaks.
Yes.
Because we thought it would be more entertaining if this part of the show
Had some steaks.
Steaks.
Yeah, people
that's
were
right.
like, oh, there's no steaks to this podcast.
What rapper's violent death was foreshadowed by his final video, I Ain't Mad at Cha?
I believe I'm going to go, I got two choices. I'm going to go with Tupac. My wife might be upset that I got this wrong. Is it
Before
Biggie?
I tell you if you're right or wrong,
Yeah.
why would your wife?
Well,
Tell me
she's a
more.
big fan of Tupac Shakur, and so I should know which artist has this single, but I don't know the name of their singles. And so
Your wife is a huge Tupac fan.
yes,
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So you're saying you think that it's Tupac.
Yeah, but it might be. It could be Biggie.
You're right.
Yes.
Tupac.
It still didn't. It was just a guess, though.
Don't you feel like it's weird that there's a lot of Tupac stuff that came out after he died?
Well, I think he
There's
was
a lot of material.
I guess-
What was he, like 14 when he died?
No,
Just like tons of material.
Yeah, I think he would just
released.
go in and record. He was pretty prolific writer, MC, I guess, and he would just throw down some lyrics.
Did you watch Issa Rae's series Insecure at all?
I have watched Insecure, yeah.
There's a scene in the first season where she goes and hangs out in a studio and they're just
Oh, yeah.
grabbing
yeah.
bottles of Crown Royal and
Right,
just
and-
freestyling in the
yep.
studio. I enjoyed that scene.
Right, and I bet you Tupac did plenty of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, just throw down some fat beats and
Yep.
do your thing.
Right. So I'm going to ask you a question now, Eric. I'm going to say, what TV talk show gave away Tickle Me Elmos by tossing them at the studio audience?
Okay, this is confusing because I feel like it's an Ellen thing. But
Yeah.
It's pre-Ellen,
This
I
is
believe. So I'm going
pre-Ellen.
to go with Rosie O'Donnell.
That's correct. Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell was the pre-Ellen.
Yep. That's right.
What happened to Rosie?
Well, she was on The View there for a little bit.
Right.
And
She was in League of Their Own with Long Kiss Goodnight's Gina Davis.
that's right. Yep. Yeah. So good call. Keeping it on point. On fleck.
Yeah, on fleek.
Fleek, that's it.
Gary,
Yep.
What organization's Texas chapter fired its general counsel because he opted to represent a Ku Klux Klanman?
I'm going to go with the ACLU. That's the organization. Or maybe the NCAA. Or, NCAA. Wait, what if that is? National NAACP.
Which one do you want to pick?
I'm going to go with ACLU.
So close.
Oh,
it was the NAACP.
Yeah.
The NAACP.
Yep.
He opted to represent a Klansman.
Yeah,
which is
I think
want
that's
to.
right.
I want to watch that movie.
And you're right. The ACLU probably would not. They're all about his civil rights. Also, they probably did that.
ACLU is a good guess. I mean, they, freedom of speech.
Yep. What did Taco Bell announce it would rename the Liberty Bell for an April Fool's Day gag?
The Taco Bell?
I don't think I can give you all of that because it's the Taco Liberty Bell.
Oh.
So, I mean, if you want it, you can take it.
I mean, the fact that I didn't get that is only matched by the stupidity at the end.
Yeah, exactly, right.
What record-setting 7-year-old... What was record-setting 7-year-old Jessica Dubroff behind the controls of when a crash took her life?
Oh, I'm going to say a boat, some sort of boat, a yacht.
It's an airplane.
Oh, okay.
I guess she was a record-setting pilot.
Yeah. It was either a plane, train, or an automobile.
Or John Candy.
Yeah, she was at the controls of John Candy.
Del Griffith.
Yep. What U.S. presidential candidate got 60 Dunkin' Donuts a week as part of an endorsement deal? 96. What U.S. presidential candidate got 60 Dunkin' Donuts a week as part of an endorsement deal?
H. Ross Perot?
That is wrong. Is that your answer? No, this was Bob Dole.
Why did Bob Dole get donuts?
I think it had to do because Clinton was a Krispy Kreme guy. So Dunkin' Donuts was like, hey, Bob Dole, here's some donuts, Bob Dole.
But Boston, that's really Democrat country. Massachusetts.
I think it was...
That's where Mike Dukakis is from.
I think it probably was the Krispy Kreme thing that Clinton was.
Where's Krispy Kreme?
They're from the South. I don't know if Arkansas, but...
Yeah. I mean, Bill Clinton, not a likable politician.
Not a likable politician?
In retrospect.
Well, yeah, no, I think he is... He definitely has some problems. But, he definitely has
Go on.
I mean, he abused his...
Did we have Captain Raoul on the Primary Colors episode, or have we
that
just
was
argued
Good Man.
about him with him on this? I mean, he is a big defender of Clinton,
Oh, okay.
big defender, but I feel like kind of a bad guy.
Well, yeah, so, I mean, I think...
Big guy.
With all people... current president excluded, there's nuances, and
I mean, I don't want to talk about the current president too much on this podcast because we're supposed to go back to the 90s
That's
and
right.
whatnot. But I did see a clip where he was talking about how he knew more about the wind than anyone else.
Yeah.
And I feel like I kind of wish that were true.
Right.
That would be very interesting if the president knew more about the wind than anybody else.
Well, right. And those windmills kill eagles, and you gotta...
I feel like that's at least a point.
Yeah.
I feel like this clip I saw, I was talking about, I know more about the wind than anyone else, and also our planet is very tiny, and universe is tremendous, and the windmills are also tiny.
There's
and
one
I was just
part,
like, what What is the point here? What's he going for?
Speech, he says, and that's true. And it's like when you're a politician and you say, and that's true.
And I definitely didn't take a bribe. The thing is, I felt like watching that 50-second clip or whatever, if I was at a bar and he was sitting next to me, I would be like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom, and like step away
and maybe order him an Uber.
Yeah,
to go.
Be like, are you okay?
That's right,
buddy. Are you doing okay? Like right. I would be concerned.
Oh, well, that's why you and I live our lives in the 90s,
right?
Because we don't have to deal with
Bill Clinton.
That's right.
Hey, George H.W. Bush.
Yep.
I mean, please.
Yeah, right.
Come on back, bro.
I don't know about that. But anyway.
You're telling me you wouldn't swap out HW for Trump today?
No, I would. So before we start talking about Car Button Cloth by the Lemonheads, the 1996 album, we will talk about the top 10 singles. Eric, you're going to give us the top 10 singles that were on the radio when Evan Dando decided, you know what? The world needs another Lemonheads album.
It's been a minute.
That does not have Into Your Arms on it.
Number 10, Last Night by As Yet.
As Yet?
Yep. Number 9, You're Making Me High by Toni Braxton.
Okay.
Number 8,
she was the queen of the 90s.
Loungin' by Ladies Love Cool James.
I think I always kind of knew what LL Cool J's songs were, but that one's not right.
I think this is sort of late Cool J.
Yeah, okay.
Number 7, Come On Ride That.
I do remember that one.
Ride It.
That one.
Come on, ride that. It's a shoot train.
96, we were
ride it.
Freshmen, seniors in high school.
Ride it.
But this one got a lot of play at college
train.
Parties.
Yeah, it was a big hit.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Is it Snap?
No.
No. Oh, yep. That's I mean, if you were born in the 90s and people were like, Eric Clapton is God, because he's such a guitar god, you would not think that from your 90s output.
That's Clapton and Babyface with Change the World from the Phenomenon soundtrack. Where do you go, my darling? That's No Mercy, number 5. Okay. Where do you go? Number 4, Twisted by Keith Sweat.
Keith Sweat.
Not a country singer.
No, exactly.
Despite his name.
Yep.
I feel like should be. Number 3, It was gone with the wind, but it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me now. My name is Celine Dion.
Oh, okay. I like how she always
coming back to me now.
I like how Celine Dion always puts her name in each song.
Yeah, just like a Gaga and rap artists.
Yep.
Celine Dion.
That's right.
Number 2. I love you, always, forever, here and far.
Oh, that song.
Wish it together, always be.
We've discussed that song plenty, I think, on the 96 year-end episode.
Number 1. Come what to be a Macarena.
Oh, yeah, right. That was number 1 this week. Huh? In October. All right, so those were the songs that I think Evan Dando was like, you know what? Yeah, I got this.
I mean, the landscape of pop at this point could only be described as desperate.
Yeah, that's a sad.
I wouldn't call those top 10 songs horrific.
No,
but I would call it desperate.
Yes. Like me on prom night. So
hi-oh.
Hey. Oh,
yes.
So, Eric, in '96, in the early '90s, there was this whole alternative thing going on, and we discussed what's alternative. And I guess I'm going to position to you the Lemonheads, especially this album, Car Button Cloth. Is it alternative country or alternative rock?
Oh, I'm gonna go with the classic either or. Neither.
Oh, you're not gonna even go with the. Okay.
And I posit the question. Maybe it didn't.
Yeah.
I would say this is pop music.
Okay, alternative pop.
Trying to fit the alternative mold per se. I think that Evan Dando wants to write sing-songy pop music, and mostly does.
Yeah.
But he's got a goatee.
Yeah.
Longish hair.
Well, and a lot of drugs. He did a lot of drugs. And it's like, how I guess that's the alternative lifestyle.
I mean, it's an alternative to life.
Yeah, exactly.
Drugs.
Exactly.
I don't know much about Evan Dando except for that his vocal range is not very high and not very low, so it's perfect for my vocal range.
Right.
I can sing If I Can Talk, I Tell You, and Into Your Arms all day long.
Yeah.
Because it's not too high, it's not too low.
Not too low. Just right. You're like Goldilocks.
Yeah.
So
it's
you're
just
the
perfect porridge for yours truly.
Were you a fan of the Lemonheads? First off, were you familiar with this album?
So, interestingly enough, I was not a fan of the Lemonheads before this album, but I was a fan of this album.
Okay.
I had this album because I liked If I Could Talk, I'd Tell You, and The Outdoor Life so much. So I bought this album for those two songs, and I liked them a lot. I was aware of Into Your Arms, and I could play it on the guitar, etc., etc.
Yeah.
In the world of today, where I could hop on Spotify and listen to Come On Feel the Lemonheads and their other album, I think I would have been a Lemonheads person.
Okay.
Because I would have listened to all their stuff.
Yep.
But it was 1996, so I was like, well, I'll buy this album.
Okay, yeah.
So I did. I liked this album and these songs quite a bit.
Yeah.
Looking at the Wikipedia page and other sorts of news about this, and 23 years later, turns out this was not. I am in the minority.
Yeah,
not everybody was down.
Let me tell you. So I had heard "It's a Shame About Ray" not in '92. It was probably '95 before this album came out, and that is a great album. I would put that as a great album. 4 stars. Done. It's a Shame About Ray. We don't even need to talk about it.
No, we could. I mean, I should listen to it, right?
Yeah. I really think that's a good one. Then I remember listening to Come On Feel the Lemonheads and being like, yeah. I mean, I like Into Your Arms, but nothing else. I thought I was
their biggest hit.
Yeah, and maybe because It's a Shame About Ray I like so much, I was let down, and so I didn't even bother with Car Button Cloth. I keep forgetting the name.
96 was a tumultuous time for acts that were lumped in with the alternative movement, though.
Yeah.
I mean, 96 was like Yield by Pearl Jam.
I did get that album and I liked that one a lot, but I did not go out and buy this one.
But at the same time, that Yield is different than Versus in a lot of ways, right?
Right.
Different than Vitology in a lot of ways.
Yeah, right.
And even I knew kind of like the If I Could Talk, I'd Tell You was sort of a happy poppy, in a way. Around that same time, the Romeo plus Juliet soundtrack was out, and the Cardigan song came out.
Yep.
Love Fool. I kind of lumped those two songs together in my mind.
Really?
In a way, Love Fool and If I Could Talk, I'd Tell You. And in a way, it fits.
Yeah, I think
like
so.
It's a dreamy, poppy song. And I feel like for me, it hit my sweet spot. I do like sing-songy pop songs a lot. And quite a few of these songs fall into that category.
Yeah, I mean, that was an enjoyable song. So, like, I was not really familiar with this album at all.
You didn't even listen to it back
No,
then.
I was like...
Even though you liked their first album a lot.
Yes.
That is interesting.
It is. I think that's...
We're like the exact opposite people. I've never heard the first album all the way through.
I think I've done that with other bands too, where I get an album and I'm like, this album's great. Do you want to hear anything else by them? No, I'm good. I love this album.
That's weird. This is the way...
Yeah. This is an enjoyable one. And the outdoor type is also a good one.
This video is really fun, too. He's on a roller coaster and lip-syncing to the song.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun. Back in the day, man, videos...
Yeah, that's where it was at. If you didn't have a video...
The outdoor type, that was featured... Did you ever...
Nope, never.
There's a movie, a rom-com from the late 90s called The Tao of Steve.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes camping with the girl just because he likes her, but he's not a camping guy, and they play the outdoor type, which...
A little too on the nose.
If there was a band playing music like this, and you could be like, hey, if you like this song, you should listen to X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
That would be my jam.
Okay.
Like, I really like this, whatever this is.
This is good stuff. But this is, I like this one. I mean, it's no Mrs. Robinson.
You know what? That Mrs. Robinson cover might be why I didn't get into their first two albums.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Because at that very same time, the early 90s, is when I was sort of a 1960s aficionado.
Oh, okay.
I liked the movie Love Story and the book. I liked the Beatles. I liked Simon and Garfunkel. Not Paul Simon.
Right. Oh,
Simon
okay.
and Garfunkel. I liked a lot of 60s stuff. So I probably was sort of I liked The Graduate,
Yep.
So I probably was sort of judgmental about this Mrs. Robinson rock cover.
Yeah.
And so I might have soured on the Lemonheads early because of that. I never thought about that.
But, I'm glad we were able to work through that.
In a lot of ways, though, like, their first two albums should be catnip to me.
Yeah.
Much like Taylor Swift's catnip in the movie Cats, which I like to bring up in every podcast from here until the end of eternity. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Do it.
It's supposed to be a pretty good movie.
Yep.
The latest thing I've heard about that movie, Gary, is that it's in theaters with unfinished VFX.
Oh, I heard. Yeah, they're pushing out updates still.
Right. It's like a video game on Xbox One. Like, here's your patch. Apparently, there are scenes where you can see Judi Dench's regular human hands, including her wedding ring.
Well, right, and I think that just is part of her character. They should have just made that a part of it.
She's a cat
with human hands. Yep.
And all the dancing that happens 6 inches above the ground, that's also that's
really?
Their character.
Oh, wow. It was, well, I hope everybody enjoys it.
Not too many people have enjoyed it yet, according to box office receipts.
But the Lemonheads.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Anyway.
What do you think
I like them.
The Gwyneth's Head in a Box song?
So
that's
this is a strange choice.
Yep. I mean,
do you know what it's called?
What is that?
It's called 6 with the S is the number 6 instead of 7 with the number
I see.
with the letter V being a 7.
I get it now.
He's just being an ass.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, spoiler alert, he didn't care about it.
Squint his head in a box. Well, and it's so close to... When did this movie come? Oh, it would be like a year after that movie came out. Okay,
yeah.
well, you know what? Yeah, you either do or don't want to watch 7 at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's strange. It's definitely him
strange.
being like, I'm a weirdo.
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
I think that's the alternative Evan Dando.
There was supposed to be a song on this album that was co-written by Evan Dando and Noel Gallagher.
Right. Purple parallelogram or tangram.
Yeah, something.
But Noel didn't like it and he requested it be removed.
Yep, that's what I was reading also.
So apparently the critics that reviewed it with that on it.
Oh, okay.
So they got an early press release.
I'm surprised it's not on. I wonder if it's on anything.
Can you find it on YouTube or
maybe?
whatnot?
I don't know.
Eh.
What do you think? And then I guess...
I mean, that's weird, right? Like,
Yep.
what... I know that Noel worked with the Chemical Brothers.
Yeah.
Where are they from?
They're from Britain. Yeah.
So it's pretty strange because, like, isn't Evan Dando from the West Coast?
Boston. No, he's Boston.
But still odd. Like, what is their connection?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
They both like drugs.
Yeah, that could be it. That may
So
be it.
what do you know about Evan Dando and drugs?
Well, I mean, I think the reason why... so Evan Dando is the Lemonheads. You know, he had other people in the band, like Juliana Hatfield was in the band at one time.
I like her.
Yeah, and she's kind of prominent on It's a Shame About Ray. But I think he's the only member that's still, and I think it has to do with his drug habit. You know, he wasn't very reliable.
Well, I mean, this is 96, and I think his solo is like 7 years later.
Right.
And then the follow-up is like 9 years later.
Right, yeah. The next Lemonheads album is almost 9 years after this album.
That definitely checks out.
Yeah, He's
not exactly Tupac over here.
Yeah, exactly. Just going in the studio and laying down tracks. So I think that was the main issue. So I've always heard he was...
what drugs? Heroin? I mean, he didn't die.
Right, no. And I guess... And he even has a song on It's a Shame About Ray called My Drug Buddy. So, you know, he's writing odes to that.
Did you see the new movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I've not seen that one yet either, no.
One of my favorite quotes from that movie is Leonardo DiCaprio's character and Brad Pitt's character are watching Leo's character on network TV.
Okay.
And they order a pizza and have a six-pack together.
Okay.
And Brad Pitt says, I've got some acid from this girl who sold me some acid on the street. You want to try it? And Leo says, my booze don't need nobody.
Oh, all right. Nice.
Anyway,
yep.
That reminded me
of that line. Yeah, excellent.
One of the best things about that movie was that line, in my opinion.
All right. Go see it to hear that line.
Actually, I think it's time at this point where you all can spend $5 and watch it on your Rokus or whatnot.
Yeah, rent it from Amazon, rent it from iTunes. This episode of My So-Called Podcast is brought to you by Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'm surprised you haven't watched that.
I don't get to go to the movies very often, and so you're right, it just came out.
You should drop your kids off over here.
Yeah.
And go see Quentin Tarantino movies.
I don't want my kids over here.
That's true. Exposed to this nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
Good point. Anyway, what do you think about the rest of this album?
You know, it's okay. It's not bad. Nothing stand out. Maybe Knoxville Girl was another one that I really enjoyed.
It was a little upsetting.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be recorded these days.
No.
But yeah, Come On Daddy, that one kind of rocks.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, it does not rock at all. One More Time kind of rocks.
And then Secular Rockulage was one that...
I felt like this felt like
This sounds
One more
like
time
Dinosaur
felt
Jr.
like grunge.
Yep.
You guys like grunge? Here's some grunge.
This sounds like Dinosaur Jr. Yeah, I mean, right.
You tell me you don't like that?
No, that's good.
I
don't mind it. It's this. Yeah. It's a fine album. I mean, are you ready to rate it, or do you want to talk about any other
Well,
songs?
would you like to explain to the audience what our stars mean?
Yeah, so we rate on a star-based system. You know, like, so you're outside and you look up and you see the stars. Though, think of those when you're thinking about, like, oh, how are these rated? So we're gonna give it 4 stars. It's a well-deserved classic status.
Like limoncello, the alcohol-based lemon drink.
Oh, okay. 3 stars is that's a pretty good album. That's a spicy meatball.
Lemonade.
Lemonade. Okay.
Everybody loves hand-squeezed lemonade.
Right. Oh, not Beyonce's album Lemonade.
Oh no, that's 4 stars.
Okay. So, 2 stars is that's
like lemon jello.
lemon jello. Okay.
I mean, it's fine. It's good. It doesn't taste like a real lemon,
Right.
though.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of a weird taste, but
Right.
it's fine.
Right, okay. And then 1 star is like, that is a bad album, and this is why I haven't listened to it in 23 years, because...
Yeah, and then it'd be like Lemonheads.
Lemonheads
The candy.
or lemon scented pine. Don't drink.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Lemon pie. That's
Yeah.
better. Yeah. Any kind of cleaning product with
Right,
a lemon scent.
Yeah,
Or
that's
like
a bad
like
stuff.
a hand sanitizer with lemon
Yeah,
scent.
it's
That's
no
like
good.
1
Right.
star, half star.
I think this... Yeah, no, okay. I don't know what I was going to say. I said Lemonheads is a candy also, aren't they? Because you said lemon
Yeah,
drops.
that's where the name comes
Right,
from. I think
but lemon
Lemonheads.
drops are candy also?
Yeah.
Different-
Lemonheads is a brand name. Lemon drops is sort of like a
Are they
thing
the
everybody
same
knows about.
candy?
No, they're different.
Okay.
Lemon drops are kind of hard, and lemon heads are kind of like gooey, like kind of like soft on the outside. Then you get to the hard center.
Okay.
And it's a brand name.
All right.
Comes in a white box with blue lettering.
Eric, what? Yeah, I remember that. Eric, what are you gonna give the
I give
Lemonheads album?
I give it 3 stars. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. It's got like good pop rock songs and some grungy stuff. It sort of hits my sweet spot of like that poppy sing song. Makes me really want to hear that Noel Gallagher song.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. I'm gonna also
makes me
give it.
sad about his drug addiction.
Yeah,
It makes
right.
me want to hear
He should-
all the songs I could have heard if he didn't have a drug
Right,
addiction.
yeah, it is a shame. Yeah, I'm going to give it 3 stars also. I think I did enjoy it. It is if you're looking to listen to just one album by the Lemonheads, It's a Shame About Ray is the one to do it, but Car Button Cloth is a good choice. I think I would put this above Come On, Feel the Lemonheads.
What about like between this album and The Rise of Skywalker?
Well, I don't know if I want to get into that. Let's see.
What if you had to choose between The Force Awakens and Come On Feel the Lemonheads?
Oh, okay. I probably would choose The Force Awakens. I enjoyed that one enough.
All right, great.
Yep.
What about The Last Jedi? What do you think about
And
that?
It's a Shame About Ray.
What about, no. I think if we're going to say it's a shame about Ray, we have to compare that to like Ghostbusters.
Empire. Oh, okay. Empire Strikes Back.
The Boys Ghostbusters.
Oh, good. Thank
It's
goodness.
a shame
Not yet.
about Ray stands.
Oh, I see. I get you. So yeah, that's the Lemonheads Card Button Cloth. We're gonna come back in the second half of the podcast and talk about the Long Goodnight. Yep.
Hello, girls. Caitlin, come help me in the kitchen. Hurry up, because I forget where it is.
That's her mom. She's got amnesia.
What if you couldn't remember your real name, your first kiss, or your last goodbye?
I don't remember.
Honey, you ever had an ETA on that carrot?
Stow it.
And then suddenly,
I used to do this. I'm a chef. Yahoo!
without warning,
Give me something else.
Celery! Italian!
Wow!
all your memories
Name's Charlie. I'm coming back.
came flooding back to you.
Evening, Charlie. Long time.
One bullet at a time.
I got movement on Samantha Kane.
Good.
I may have a lead on someone. May still have some of her stuff.
This man, he's gonna help me find some things out so we'll be safe.
Your full name is Charlene Elizabeth Baltimore. This could be trouble.
My name is Samantha Kane.
You don't want to forget all that.
I'm in the PTA.
Then quit. You're an assassin working for the United States government. We have 24 hours. We find her, and we kill her. Run for your life!
Hey, welcome back to my so-called podcast. I am Gary Linton.
I'm Eric Spiegel.
Yeah, and so that's the trailer for Renny Harlin's The Long Kiss Goodnight, written by Shane Black, starring Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson,
Keep
Brian
going.
Cox.
David Morse.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hello.
Yep. And yeah, that was released the same week that roughly the same week that the Lemonheads released their album Car Button Cloth.
Were there any other movies in the theater?
Eric,
at
I
that
believe there were. I'm going to check the internet. I'm just going to Google, were there any movies in the theater back in 1996? And yeah, there were some movies.
So
Thanks, Google.
let's say I get into my Mazda Miata.
Okay, I'll say that.
Drive down Route 66 to the film theater.
Oh, you're going to get your kicks on Route 66? Well,
What could I go see?
You could have went and saw the number 10 movie that week, Fly Away Home. The story about ducks.
Is that Jeff Daniels?
I believe that is Jeff Daniels. And maybe Thora Birch?
Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin, you're right. It
So
was
the
Anna
weird thing about that movie is when Oscar nominee Noah Baumbach's movie Squid and the Whale,
Yep.
Jeff Daniels hits on
Oh,
Anna
Anna Paquin.
Paquin
That's right. You're
in that
right.
movie.
Yeah, that's his daughter from Fly Away Home.
and it's like, hey, bro, that's your daughter.
Right. Number 9 is The Glimmer Man.
That's Keenan Ivory Wayans
Okay.
and Steven Seagal.
Okay. Yep.
Action movie.
Number 8 that week was Get on the Bus.
Spike Lee.
Is that a documentary?
No.
No?
I think it's a fiction movie about the Million Man March.
Okay. Number 7, The Chamber. Is that John Grisham's The Chamber?
Yes.
Yep.
That is Gene Hackman and Robin from Batman.
Oh, Chris O'Donnell. Yep.
Correct.
Yep. Number 6, D3, The Mighty Ducks. I mean, a lot of ducks in the movie, the Cinemaplex.
Emilio Estevez and et al.
Yep. I don't know if a young Joshua Jackson, is that his name?
I
Is
don't
still
know.
in it?
I've never seen any of those Ducks films.
But the guy, he was on the OC. No, not Dawson's Creek.
That's Joshua Jackson.
Yeah, Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek was in Mighty Ducks.
One.
Yes, definitely one. And I don't know if he was still in it on the third one, though.
We're talking about D3, Gary.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Get
right.
with the program.
Number 5 is That Thing You Do, Tom Hanks's directorial debut. Yeah. Number 4, the movie we're talking about tonight, The Long Kiss Goodnight. That was the number 4 movie with $6 million at the box office. Number 3, The First Wives Club. Goldie Hawn.
Bette Midler.
And who's the third one? Diane Keaton?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Annie Hall.
Annie Hall herself. Number 2, The Ghost in the Darkness, Michael Douglas, right?
Yeah. Val Kilmer. 2 Lions.
2 Lions. You're not talking about Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas, are you?
Maybe.
Sure. And then number 1 that week was Sleepers, the sequel to Woody Allen's Sleeper.
It's true.
Much like Alien.
Aliens. So Barry Levinson, Brad Pitt, Jason Patrick, Kevin Bacon.
Is Christian Slater in that? Or no, I'm thinking Murder in the First.
Actually, I went and saw Sleepers in the theater opening weekend. I liked it. It was good.
Well, all right. You've heard it here first. Sleepers.
Barry Levinson has had a crazy Hollywood career where he is like in the good graces of Hollywood and not so much.
Yeah.
Back and forth. Back and forth.
The
back
old,
and forth.
The old back and forth.
Right. It's a holiday season. If you enjoy the holidays and you want to watch a good Hollywood movie that has something sort of tangentially to do with the holidays, I would recommend Diner.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's got a lot of Christmas stuff in it, and it's a really good movie.
And it's chock full of Paul Rudd.
Chock full of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. All right, yeah, but we're going to discuss the Long Kiss Goodnight, right?
Yeah, that's the rumor.
Okay. On the internet? It's the rumor on the internet?
Yeah, if you check on Reddit / My So-Called Podcast / rumors / Reddit.
Okay. Not a lot of times they put the parent URL in that.
Anyway, you did the top 10, so I'm doing the either or.
That's correct.
Gary.
Yes.
This movie.
The Long Kiss Goodnight?
Yes.
Okay.
Either this movie would have been a huge hit with a man as the protagonist, or it was not a huge hit for other reasons. # me too.
Yep. I'm going to say I don't think it needed to have a man to be...
That's not what I asked.
Right. It was not a huge hit for other reasons.
What reasons?
I think the first 15 minutes of this movie is bad. It's bad and really annoying. But once you get, did you watch this back in 96?
Yep. I went to see it in the big screen theater.
And you liked it back then?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah. I came away from it, seeing it in 96, being like, yeah, I enjoyed that. That was really good. I sat down to watch it again here, and when Gina Davis is doing...
It starts off as a sort of a Hallmark / Lifetime movie.
And it just doesn't work. It's like Gina Davis is talking about how she was born 8 years ago. And
so when she is driving home the drunk old man...
Yeah, even then...
I thought that worked really well, actually.
See, I didn't like that.
I felt like at that point in the movie, the Gina Davis character was a really interesting, full-fledged character.
See,
because she said, "Do me a favor."
Yeah.
And say "hick" every once in a while and hold your breath. Like, she seemed like sort of a post-Tarantino character who was also a Lifetime movie mom that baked cookies.
I guess
I really, really, really bought her.
I was not buying her. She was, I think I don't know if the voiceover that she was giving was irritating me, because I was the first 15 minutes. I'm like, oh my, I do not like this at all. But then once she gets in the car with Samuel L. Jackson and they start playing off each other, I was like, oh yeah, this is why I like this movie.
It's interesting because there's a scene early in the movie where Samuel L. Jackson does a Samuel L. Jackson impersonation. He says, "You better motherfucker blah, 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 blah," to some people with the gun drawn. And I was like, oh, he's just doing the Pulp Fiction thing. But then it turns out he is impersonating the Pulp Fiction thing in the movie.
Yes.
As a private eye that shakes people down for money, which I thought was freaking brilliant.
Yeah,
to say that he's a private eye who portrays Jules from Pulp Fiction to get money out of people is awesome. Like, it's so awesome. And he has this cool private eye partner who is sort of like, I don't know who she is, but she is Anna Kanakarides.
Okay.
She's one of the CSI people eventually. But I wanted to watch a movie that was about those two.
Well, yeah,
that would have been cool.
And then I guess I just have another problem with that whole scene. That was really annoying me too. The chopping carrots and give me more vegetables, and she throws that.
Okay, should we explain to the audience what's going on?
Well, they heard the trailer.
So Gina Davis's character gets into a car accident. She's a school teacher, mom, whatever.
She has amnesia.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
And she bonks her head, and she's chopping carrots, but it turns out she's super, super good at chopping vegetables.
Exactly.
She's chopping broccoli, chopping broccoli. She's chopping carrots like nobody's business.
Right. So she thinks she was a chef.
So what is your problem with that scene? Because I feel like it's fine.
It wasn't fine. I don't know. I'm not going to say that...
As a screenwriter, let's like, all the bets are off. What's your way of... Like, she's chopping things quite well. She knows how to handle a knife. And then... throws up a tomato in the air and then impales it in the wall. And she says, chefs do that. And I feel like that's pretty good screenwriting for the film at hand.
I don't know. I can see that the performance just did not work for me. Not even talking about the screenwriting, but however, Gina Davis, and I like Gina Davis.
Let's talk about this a little bit. Because Gina Davis is an interesting character because if we go back 10 years, she's the love interest in The Fly.
10 years from 1996.
Right. She's the love interest in The Fly.
Right.
She is, at that point, I mean, I'm 8 years old. I don't fucking know. Like, is she nobody?
She was pretty much nobody. I do remember ever seeing Transylvania 65000.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Jeff
she's
Goldblum also.
Yeah.
So did Jeff Goldblum pluck her from somewhere?
No, she got, I think they met on Transylvania 65000.
Where's she from?
She was She was a model. She was on WTF recently because of Glow. She was on the latest season of Glow.
She was?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
Yeah, and she does a good performance there. But
so anyway.
Yes.
Actually, this is very helpful. Go ahead.
No. So she was a model and she tried acting and she her whole part in Transylvania 65000 is she's a woman who thinks she's a vampire. That was like one of her starting roles.
To me, as a film fan child in Missouri, 1980s, I knew her as Gina Davis in The Fly.
Yep.
And then Gina Davis, Best Supporting Actress nominee, Accidental Tourist, 1989.
Yeah.
So that's William Hurt, her, Kathleen Turner.
89 though, but that was, so she did Beetlejuice before that.
Right.
Yep.
So, good point.
Yep.
So, okay. So Cronenberg discovers her through indies.
Yep.
Then she ends up in Beetlejuice through our friend Tim Burton.
Yeah. He's our friend.
I mean, that's a great movie, and honestly, it's a 90s podcast, so you don't have to care what I think, but that movie is a banger. It's still
Beetlejuice?
great.
Yeah, it's really good.
So
We just watched that recently.
It is so good.
Showed Liam
There's
that.
nothing wrong with that movie. It's so good.
I won't say that it's flawless, but it is really good.
Okay.
So,
I think it's great.
right.
Anyway, so that's Gina Davis, and then she's in The Accidental Tourist, which is like, she's legit now.
Yep.
And then...
She did Thelma and Louise.
Oh, shoot.
Yep.
Thelma and Louise.
Right. No, she was a huge...
And then League of Their Own.
Oh, A League of Their Own. That's right. Yeah.
Right? And then it's 3 years...
Cutthroat Island.
Okay. We have to deal with Cutthroat Island here, right? Because
she was in Quick Change also. Great performance in Quick Change.
Okay, so Renny Harlin is a nobody, right?
Yeah.
He gets plucked out of the ether by New Line Cinema, who says, we like to pluck nobodies out of the ether who have one good movie that's in a different language. We can pay you nothing to make a movie. We're the Netflix of the 80s.
Right.
We'll pay you to make Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Okay?
Yep.
That's Renny Harlin. And all of a sudden he is something because Nightmare on Elm Street 4 made actually more money
Is that...
than Nightmare on Elm Street
right. Yeah,
3.
Dream Master.
So, Dream Warriors was like, oh, okay, these are going to make money. They're actually a thing.
Yep.
And then 4 made more money than 3, which is more about 3 than 4.
Right.
And then it was a big downhill slide from there. But anyway, he was somewhat creative, etc. But like Hollywood was like Renny Harlin.
Yeah. They gave him
bless him.
Die Hard 2.
And if you go back in time, I really, really like
You really like Die
2.
Hard 2.
I think it's fine.
Yep.
This is good.
It's good.
Actually.
Yeah, I like it.
And anybody that thinks that Renny Harlin is a hack needs to watch Die Hard 2 again. And I would say they also need to watch The Long Kiss Goodnight. Because I think The Long Kiss Goodnight is a spiritual sequel to Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
Like, if you really, really like Die Hard and Die Hard 2, you should watch The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yeah, The Long Kiss Goodnight is... So, okay, I think you want to talk about Renny Harlin. I think I want to talk about Shane Black a little bit.
Go ahead.
And so, his thing is pairing people up. So, his big first screenplay was Lethal Weapon. Old African-American cop about to retire. Young...
PTSD.
Yeah, Vietnam vet wants to kill himself.
Death Wish.
Yep, they get partnered. Okay,
I'm too old for this shit.
right. Then he did. The Last Boy Scout was, but I don't know if that was his next one. But so detective who is down on his luck gets paired up with an African American football player. So this is his thing. He does pairings of characters, usually two-handers, and so he pairs up this amnesic or a woman suffering from amnesia with this down on his luck private detective and in the screenplay, and he is able to write buddy dialogue pretty well. That's his thing. And
he actually did a polish on the Monster Squad.
Okay.
Last Action Hero.
Okay. Yep.
Lethal Weapon 2.
But that's story, probably. Characters, yeah.
Characters by... Go ahead.
But so...
The Nice Guys is awesome.
Yeah, again, also The Nice Guys
if anyone here has not seen The Nice Guys and would like to, please do.
Yeah, and again, there's that
freaking hilarious.
They pair up two guys,
so funny,
pairing up, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah,
Val Kilmer, Robert De Niro.
I feel like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is sort of forced, a little too forced, like a little too wink wink version of The Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Whereas The Nice Guys is just like great.
Right.
It's so funny.
But so that's it.
Gary, what happened with Shane Black's Predator though? Like, shouldn't that be like
because it
thing?
It wasn't too. Like same thing with Iron Man. It's not like a two-hander.
But
he didn't have
Iron Man 3 is okay.
Yeah, it is.
Predator by Shane Black should be, by all rights, awesome.
Right.
It is not awesome.
No, I didn't see it. Did you watch it?
Is it drugs?
No, I don't think it's drugs. Maybe it's drugs. I don't know.
I think it might be drugs.
And he does like dumb, like there's a lot of dumb explosions happening in Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh, should we talk about this movie?
Yes.
Okay. The Long Kiss Goodnight is about a woman who lives in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
She's having a Christmas Hallmark movie party.
Yes.
But it turns
and
out...
I don't think Renny Harlin was the right director for that part.
She is actually in an action movie. Like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Right.
And that's the sort of meta thing that's going on in this movie. And I don't know if audiences were ready for this sort of Scream-level mashup.
Well, I agree, yeah, where it wasn't the fact that Gina Davis to the fact that it wasn't it was a woman lead.
Well, that might have been part of it, too, though, don't you think?
Yeah.
So, is there a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie starring a woman before this? Like, this is what this is. This is a Steven Seagal movie or Jean-Claude Van Damme movie starring a woman. But it's got this meta layer of she's asleep in a Hallmark movie.
Right.
Kind of a thing. But, like, after she wakes up and is an ass-kicking Steven Seagal, like, it's fine. It's awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Just as good as, you know, Hard to Kill or whatever.
Right. It's probably better.
Cop.
I mean, this was written by Shane Black, who did Lethal Weapon, and
the dialogue is actually funny.
Right. You know, she's being tortured under the wheel, and when she does get all of her memories back, and what does she say? She's like, I need to go back down because she wants to get tortured some more. She's being quippy. The quips start. And
yeah, she says, I think I'll need a little bit more of a bath.
Yeah, right. Like
yeah. Like, that's kind of the way that it works.
And, yeah, you know, and Samuel L. Jackson's great in it. Just he's pretty good in it.
So, here's where I want to pick on it a little bit.
Sure, I'm all ready to pick on it.
The bad guy is Craig Bierko.
Yeah, right.
Who the is that guy?
He's been in something else. I don't remember what it was, but he definitely looked familiar.
Do you feel like he's menacing? Do you think he could be more menacing?
Yeah, he could have been more menacing.
Like, I just feel like he needs to be menacing me more. Like, I get, and he is going for it. I don't want to make him feel bad about his performance.
Sure.
Craig Bierko, God bless.
Right.
But, like, there's so much menacing he could do, and he doesn't quite get there.
Well, because he's not really, I mean, I guess, I think it's kind of, like their whole plot, you know what the plot is they want to frame Muslims for a bombing.
Right. And is this not like so prescient?
Yes, very much so. It was.
They want to have a bombing that makes the CIA get more funding.
Right.
And they're going to frame Muslims for it.
Yeah. That was,
and she's
it's
going
pretty
to
good.
stop them from killing innocent Americans.
Right.
To get more funding for the CIA to frame Muslims.
I did not remember that plot point.
I feel like
as I was watching, I was
I feel like
oh,
that melts into history,
right? That's
in
pretty
a lot of
interesting.
ways, but it's like, huh?
That was going on still at that time, is what.
How
that
about
was
that
saying.
movie?
Yeah,
Because if you watch a movie like, for example, True Lies,
Yep.
which is a much better action movie,
yes,
it's so awesome,
True Lies is pretty good.
but it's also super racist.
Yeah,
Whereas this movie, the bad guys are white people.
right.
So it's sort of weird in that way. She is... So what do you think about the transformation of Samantha to Charlie?
To Charlie. Another thing that I felt was awkward is the dream that she has that did not play well, where Charlie's like, I'm coming for you.
Right. It's very
That was-
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
or
Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the Dream
yes,
Master. Yep.
very much.
And,
But don't you think that it's interesting to compare the ultra-violence of 80s and 90s action movies with horror movies and say, like, Renny Harlin obviously is a good choice? Because, like, what's the difference, really?
Right.
The difference is when you try to make it Cutthroat Island and it's PG-13 and all of a sudden nobody is beheading anyone and Matthew Modine is the hero for some reason.
Yeah, I've never seen Cutthroat Island. Have you?
No. But I think it's interesting to think that, like, oh, the real problem is a $100 million pirate movie.
Right.
Well, that's not a problem. Because we made 7 of those
Yeah, you're right.
since then.
Yeah, it's not the problem.
And they all made a bunch of money. So what is the problem?
Well, I think that may have been the script. I can't say I've not seen that movie, so I can't really talk to Cutthroat Island.
One of the big problems people thought about
was Gina Davis.
Long Kiss Goodnight may have been Cutthroat Island, because Cutthroat Island came out on Christmas Day, 1995, and then Long Kiss Goodnight came out in October 1996, and a lot of people might have been like, oh, this is the same Stinkerino people.
It's the same director, same actress.
Yeah. They're
so
married.
they're
They
married.
do that thing where they...
That thing you do? The episode, the number 4 movie?
But this movie, to me, is better than any Van Damme or Seagal movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think it's definitely
got a lot
smarter.
going for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's still like some like, why does the little girl get in the truck at the end?
Okay, so the little girl
Yes.
is a big problem.
Yes.
Right? She's a big problem plot-wise, character-wise.
But you need that from a plot standpoint too, because
it's so interesting because, like, as a mom,
right,
that's a big part of the plot.
Yep.
But the main part of the audience is not like, I don't want to think of this person as a mom.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
So it's sort of like, we need the misogynist. But we don't want them to think too hard.
Right. Yep.
That's an interesting conundrum the movie gets itself into, because it's sort of a woman-hating, man-hating, nihilistic thriller. But it also wants you to care about a mom and her daughter.
Exactly. That's the big thing. And Samuel L. Jackson, Mitch Hennessy is his name.
Mitch Hennessy. Yep. He's got an awesome green hat.
Yeah, he gets it from Brian Cox,
who dies too early in the film.
But Mitch Hennessy is some sort of superhero. He's like a Kylo Ren that can't die.
Yeah. Mitch Hennessy died in the screenplay.
Yeah.
But test audiences did not want Samuel L. Jackson
sure,
to
yeah,
die. Just like test audiences wanted people to be like, I don't want these MF snakes on my MF plane.
Right. So let's name that train. Let's name that movie that.
I feel like whenever I stay up too late, Gary, and I watch movies, I kind of want them to be the Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yeah.
I want them
that's
to be
a perfect movie. Yeah,
super duper trash.
Yeah.
That is this very singular vision that is sort of a little over the line. It's not quite what Hollywood wants to give us. It's a little weird. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty awesome.
It's a fun ride. This is, and you got to go along for the ride.
It's so twisted. It's not like Lethal Weapon. It's a little over the edge. It's a little weirder than you think it would be. Plus, it starts off like kind of a Hallmark movie,
which did not work for me.
It
but
totally works for me. I love that part. Watch it again. Love it.
Seen
Love
it,
live it.
And I was watching it, and I was like, "Oh man, is this movie gonna be like this?" I do not remember this movie being like this.
Nope, it's Samuel L. Jackson having 3 vodka tonics.
It changes gears pretty fast.
Okay, so Long Kiss Goodnight, Renny Harlin, masterpiece.
No.
How many stars would you give it?
So I kind of was thinking of this as from another podcast rating. I would call this a good bad movie. But putting it in our rating system, I'm gonna give it 3 stars.
I feel like it's 3.5 stars.
Wow, 3.5.
It's not a good movie in the sense of like. It's a good quality movie.
Well, I mean, it's made well. And
in the sense of, like, if you want to watch a movie about a school teacher that turns out she is actually an assassin, that turns out to be a Die Hard style action movie.
They run.
I love it. It's so great. Also, Samuel L. Jackson happens to be her blaxploitation friend. Yes. Throughout the whole movie, and he's sort of Pulp Fictioning it up.
He's great. He's great.
Got his,
that scene where he's like, "Here, you hold this, and we're gonna shoot them when they come around." But then they see the grenade, and he's like, "No, let's just run."
It's funny.
There's some funny moments. Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stunts. Samuel L. Jackson has a great part. Gina Davis is gorgeous and wonderful.
Yep.
It's an underestimated movie. I think it's great. I do think it's trash.
Yeah. Yep.
But I also think it's great. So that's why I give it 3.5 stars. If it weren't trash, I would give it 4 stars.
Oh wow.
So
3 stars.
It's a certain type of movie that actually doesn't exist anymore.
No, they would never make
$100 million blaxploitation movie that's sort of like, here's a mainstream movie, everybody, right? Question mark?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, it was 1996, so everybody's sort of like, actually, no.
Nope.
But if it was 94, everybody like, yeah. There's a mainstream movie where Van Damme is his own twin or whatever.
Right. Oh, right.
Like,
yeah.
the early 90s, this would have been fine, but apparently we were not cool with it at this time.
That's why Shane Black had to take a break from writing.
Yeah, it was like, I don't get what you guys want anymore,
That's
but
right.
This was the ultimate of what you guys seem to want. Anyway, I liked it a lot.
Good.
But I thought it was weird and awful.
Yeah,
in a lot of other
there
ways.
Is
so
that, yeah.
You watch it and figure it out. This has been my so-called podcast.
Thanks for listening another week, and to all a good night. Do we what is Tiny Tim's thing?
He says to all. What?
He said, yeah, I don't remember. It's like, I don't remember.
Thanks. No, he says, God bless us, everyone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's Tiny Tim.
God bless you, Gary.
And you, Eric.
And won't you please join us on another episode of my so-called podcast? Because I will.